Hey,
You
how are you?
was good.
Hi,
What's
baby.
good?
Is
How
my
are you?
baby Michael in here?
Yes, darling. Hi, sweetheart.
Hey,
Aw,
gorgeous.
I love it. I love it. Cool. I'm Shirley. So good to meet you. This is for all hip hop.
What's up,
Um,
Shirley?
I guess first question, just to bring it all the way back. How did you both get into acting?
You go, Amin.
I got into acting. I'm from New York, from Harlem, New York, and I had done plays and stuff when I was a young kid, like parochial school, like middle school, and all that. But when I first started taking it serious, I was on the basketball team, and my coach told me to go downtown to audition for a commercial because I used to be on the bench cutting up, talking mad smack, and I wasn't getting in the game at all. He knew I wasn't gonna cut any playing time. So he was like, yo, man, get off my bench, go downtown and make some use of yourself. So that was like my first foray into like professional acting, was the commercial world. And then I decided to take it serious and learn theater. I grew up in Apollo Theater, National Black Theater, Harlem, ended up going to Howard University and studying there on the conservatory under the late Al Freeman Jr.
Definitely.
Uh,
Alright.
I went to Howard too, and grad school, and yeah.
Ain't you?
Yeah, we both went to the same program. Didn't know each other, but when did you leave there, Amen?
I left in 2001.
Yeah, I was there. I was there 87 to like 90. I don't know, 87, 88,
91 maybe.
91 or 92. 90, probably 91. Yeah, 91.
Definitely. Man, well, how does it feel to be well underway, season 4 of Snowfall? How are you guys feeling?
Amen. Go.
You ain't gonna keep deferring to me. I feel good. I mean, to have a show that is about Black culture, certain time period, I feel a circle of truth around my head that we are telling the story of the late great John Singleton, and
Right.
that we are carrying on his legacy, being able to still employ people that he handpicked, that he personally tapped to,
Right.
to help their trajectory in this career.
Right.
That gives birth to a new era of filmmaker and creative, and that we're telling our story made by one of our most prolific filmmakers ever. And that feels good to be in our 4th season of doing that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with Amen. I look at the messages on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm grateful that people are as connected to the show as they are, and they continue to be. And because of Hulu, there has been an increased viewing, which is it's beautiful. I love that we are reaching as many people as we are.
Definitely. Speaking of Twitter, Amen, how did you feel when you saw Danny Lay's tweet?
I mean, I think it's been quite overblown.
I know it does.
What I really was speaking to is nothing about the sister, personally. I think
Totally.
a lot of times when we think about the word Black, and when we think about Black, when it comes to this country, there's the people, Black people, speaking literally, and then there's a culture, the Black
Right.
culture. And Snowfall is about Black culture. It's about
Right.
knowing our history so that we won't repeat it. So when I say it's a Black thing, and perhaps someone might not understand, is that if you're not really investigating, the Black culture and the the relevance that this story has to Black culture, then perhaps you're missing something, you know?
Right. Definitely. I got you. How did you guys think this show would be as popular as it is when you were first starting out?
Michael.
Well, I mean, you attach John Singleton to something, and you know that it has wings. So I expected. I'm not one to really pay attention to numbers and stuff like that, but I knew that it was going to be a beautiful artistic experience. I knew that it was going to be truthful, because that's what John reaches for. And then beyond that, I know that it's
I thought we would have blown up. I thought we would have been the biggest thing coming straight out the gate.
Really?
But, yeah, John Singleton it's LA in the 80s. This is a period piece. It's on FX, one of the premium networks in all of the world. Come on, we have talent like Michael Hyatt. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Have a young man, Damson Idris, and Angela Lewis, and Carter Hudson. We have a phenomenal cast, and you know, I always thought that this show would get the eyeballs, but things come. I think the fact that we all were dealing with the pandemic. This show was first shown to an audience during the cable kind of paradigm, and now everyone is into streaming, and now that people can stream this next day on Hulu after watching it on FX the day before, I think it's just opened up a bigger fan base, and I think no one makes a show for it not to be seen,
right?
For it to be critically acclaimed and all of that, that's up to media, that's up to critics. But when someone makes a show, you want, especially a show like this, you want people to see it so that people can understand this point of view, this particular type of perspective. So yeah, I'm glad that it's finally finding an audience. I think it's always had a small niche audience, but it's finding a larger audience, like Michael said, because of Hulu, and we're game for it all.
Yeah, I guess how is it just, well, yeah, Walter, I spoke with Walter Mosley yesterday, and he talked about how most of the actors, minus you, Michael, are like kind of new to like big time performance, but you guys are all really intelligent. Like, how does it feel to work with someone that's so legendary, that's praising you?
I mean, it's freaking Walter Mosley, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real. He works on the sacred ground of fiction literature, So to have him as one of our collaborators in the writing room, it just brings another authenticity. He was another person that was personally tapped by John Singleton, and I think that looking at things now, we're able to see things, not from hindsight, but be able to see things in pure view. What a great pick that was for John Singleton to give us someone like that to be able to continue to steward the story.
Definitely. How is it seeing your characters develop from season to season?
I am learning as every season is, I don't ever see it coming where Sissy is asked to go. And I'm as surprised as the next person, and I am grateful for the opportunity to stretch and flex muscles that are necessary to make Sissy come alive. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a lovely artistic experience. It really has been for me, and a spiritual one. Yeah, it's been a lovely journey.
Definitely. What about you?
I'm sorry. Question again. I was looking at that beautiful Michael Hyatt. I love your background over there, Michael. Is you looking like you really done put that whole thing together over there. it's changed since I last saw it.
Yeah, I'm decorating it as
It's
I
gorgeous.
find different things.
The oranges is vibrant. There's color. I'm so sorry. I get off track sometimes, but that's what was radiating for me and that beautiful woman over there. I forgot the question.
The question is, how is having your character develop from season to season?
Yeah, sort of like she said, you never know what we're going to be thrown. We do realize that with this subject matter, that more than likely things are not going to end up well for all the characters that we attach to, and that we're watching them live their lives not knowing the ramifications of their actions, that we would see later on how we can look back in history and see that people that were engaged in selling or the taking, the destruction of their community, the moral fiber of their spirituality, and you just didn't see it. So I kind of surrender to that each year and see where the writers are taking the story and try my best to embody that, to surrender to that, sort of like Michael was saying.
Definitely. I guess, just talk about the growth of Franklin, from asking his cousin for advice to being the boss. How is it working with him as well in the show?
Working with Damson is watching a child evolve. Damson is so in tune with, he's so passionate about telling the story, and he's new to the game, and he's eager, and he's wide open. So it's lovely to watch this young man evolve into his manhood, into his artistic adulthood. He is, whenever we are working together, he's incredibly generous, and it's a wonderful energy to feed off of. We thankfully feed off each other really well. And he keeps me on my toes. And the evolution of Franklin it's heartbreaking, and to see someone who truly had a pure dream to change his community for the better, and truly thought that he was doing that not only his family but the community as well. And to see him go through this journey of learning how to play chess, the chess of life, and finding out the hard way that sometimes your best intentions without a clear understanding is you're going to trip, and he's tripping, and he's trying to find his way. And as heartbreaking as it is, it's unfortunately a part of the journey for so many of us.
Definitely. And what is your guys' favorite episode this season, and why?
My favorite episode actually is the episode that's coming up tonight.
What's happening?
It's episode 407, and so much happens in this episode. I feel like it's one of those episodes. We have our episodes that seem like they're setting the story up, setting the season up. A lot of those you get that kind of preface, in kind of that exposition to set up the season in the beginning episodes. But kind of, we're starting to turn that corner to this episodes that make the season what it is. The conflict time, and so this episode 7 that's coming up is one of my favorite. I would say is my favorite for this season, just because there's so many things that happen in this episode, and it turns the world to where we end up for the season finale. So I can't tell anybody anything, but it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna get, we really start seeing the world started to crumble. Things that have been held together, things that Sissy has held together for so long, Franklin, Uncle and Auntie, and Reed and Oso, all of these, things that we see things fraying and people barely able to hold on to their concept of reality. And I think this episode is quite the shift.
Amazing. Michael, do you have a favorite episode?
Well,
Michael, do you even watch the episodes? Let me give y'all a little clue. Michael doesn't even watch her work. So Michael doesn't even watch Snowfall. Like, he's the only person that we let go with not watching Snowfall is Michael Hyatt. But she doesn't believe in watching her work. Therefore, do you have a favorite episode from reading the script would probably be the best way to approach Michael on that.
I enjoy. Did our scene go on yet?
Which one? She doesn't even know where we're at. That's coming up in that's coming up in 8.
Okay. 8. So I seldom get to work with Amin in the seasons. So there is a storyline there that I get to work with Amin, and I enjoy that experience.
And I'm very sure. Let me just be answering for her. I'm very sure that Michael has been a big advocate of the love between Sissy and Alton.
Okay.
And I think that the work that they do this season, and we've seen some of it, but it's going to really blossom in the next few episodes, is phenomenal. And it shows really the stakes and what it does, and what this whole world is doing to these really fragile relationships of people and the loving bond that they have together. And I know that she was proud to fight for that in this season, see the Black father in a certain way.
Yeah, it has been a joy to work with Kevin Carroll specifically, not only because he brought to Alton a truth, a fierceness, an intensity, a passion that I think only he could have done. Kevin is a tremendous actor, tremendous human being, and he brought such life, such compassion, such feeding off of him is so organic, and it's effortless. The energy that we have on camera is really effortless, and it has been a joy to go through this journey with Kevin. Definitely.
I love that. That's beautiful. How was it filming after the passing of John Singleton?
As one would think, we lost our helmer, we lost the guy that was steering the ship. You can't replace John. I'm glad that our production didn't kind of go like, here's the new replacement to John, because it's impossible.
Right.
His enthusiasm, his wit, his genius, his creativity, his charisma, that can't be replaced. What you can do, you can relish the time spent. You can remember the lessons. You can be thoughtful of how you treat your fellow crew member. You can be passionate in telling the story. You can be laser focused into making sure that we speak truth to power where it needs to be. And those are some of the things that I take from John. And just a whimsical kind of childlike enchantment with the filmmaking process. I'll never forget that about John, that he wasn't serious about filmmaking. It was always a collaboration. It was always enthusiastic. And
Right.
I really love that about him.
That's beautiful. Cool. Real quick, how do you feel about Freeway Rick Ross saying you guys stole his story?
You want to take that, Michael? Michael, or do you want me to?
Lovingly. I know very little of Freeway, what's his name?
Freeway Rick Ross.
Mr. Ross.
Yeah.
I do not know. I have heard from other people because I remember when we used to do the press tours, there would be some questions about whether this story was his life. And I remember John saying, no, this is the life of so many people who live this journey. I don't know Mr. Ross's experience, but I know that it seems to me from the stories I have heard from so many people around the country that this journey is something that many people can relate to. And I believe what John told me, that this is not specifically his autobiography. So that's what I have.
Yeah, and just to give another POV from it, I personally know Freeway. I respect Freeway and his story. He has a story to tell unapologetically through his own lens, with his capability. He is a competent businessman, and he definitely has a story to tell. There are plenty of similarities in the story that we tell, but Freeway deserves an opportunity for his narrative to be told by him. And there's love and respect for him.
Definitely. Beautiful. Man, well, what are you guys most excited for with season 5? Saw that. Congrats. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what are you most excited for?
We're back in the saddle. I don't know, Michael, what do you think? I think my favorite thing about each season is just working with people like Michael. It's working with my sister, working with Damson, my young brother, Isaiah and Angela and Carter and Sergio and Alon and Kevin. It's just that's been the joy, the personal relationships with our crew, the people that we've been in and out of this with for the last five years. It sounds crazy. And with COVID, it's almost like it's been extended a bit. So it's almost like 6 years. So that's the real, it doesn't sound splashy or anything like that, but that's the real that you get to see people. I've had a child, I've had a daughter. Michael has a young son that I've watched growing up into a brilliant young man during this time. And I think, I think John was about that as well. John, just speaking on John has a young son. His name is 7. And he has a birthday coming up this next week. And, he's a Snowfall baby. He was born the second season of Snowfall. So it's those things that really mean the most to me, going into season 5, because who knows what those writers are going to put us through.
Right.
Yeah.
That's about cool. Is there any, Michael, did you want to answer?
Only, I concur with everything that Amin said. I mean, I enjoy it. It's a joy coming to set for the first day and seeing all of these amazing faces, that we haven't seen for 6 months, and catching up, and then just diving in and creating art, because at the end of the day, we are all just artists, grateful to be employed, grateful to be telling our stories. I think we've all had our roller coaster trials and tribulations with the journey that artists have, and to be here in this historical, I believe it will be, time show, telling the stories that we are able to tell, having the stories that we now have as a part of our lives, the stories with John, stories with Walter. It has been a phenomenal experience. So I'm grateful that we are able to extend it for another year.
That's amazing. Congrats. I love it. Cool. Do you mind if I take a screenshot real quick?
Yes.
Boy.
Of course.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Much love. Thank you, Shirley.
I love you, Amin. Take care, Shirley.
Love you, babe. All right.
Bye.